Alright, quick question. Have you ever looked at your drone footage on a bright sunny day and it just feels a bit cheap or too sharp? It's technically good, but it doesn't feel cinematic. It feels kind of harsh. Everything just looks too stark. And the annoying part is you can be flying in an amazing place like this and the footage can just let you down. So today I'm going to show you the fastest way to make your Atom 2 footage look cinematic, and it's mostly about one thing, and that's shutter speed. Potensic have just released a brand new variable ND filter for the Atom 2, and I'm going to show you a proper real-world comparison. I'm going to be in the same location, which is at this beautiful dam, and I'll fly the same moves, first with no filter, then with the ND or neutral density filter, and then later in the video I'm going to show you a second filter that enhances color and details in the water as well. If you ever film over water and the surface looks like a giant shiny mirror full of glare, this filter makes a ridiculous difference. Don't worry, I'll leave a link to these filters in the description as always. G'day friends, I've shot a ton of drone footage for my business and my clients, and I've ruined plenty of shots as well, so you're not alone when it comes to this stuff. And at the end of this video, you'll have a surefire way to get better footage from your Atom 2. But first up, I'll show you how this filter actually fits on the Atom 2 drone. As you can see here, there is a little wire cage that fits over your gimbal on your drone, and it just clicks into place. And on the ND filter, you can see these little numbers on the side, which say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 being a light tint and 5 being dark. It's really sunny today at the dam, so I'm going to put it onto 5. So here's what we're doing. I'm going to fly a simple path out over this water, and it's nice and repeatable, so it's easy to do over and over again. And you'll see exactly what happens without an ND filter on a sunny day, and what happens when I use the variable ND filter to get cinematic shutter speed. But first up, I'm going to explain what the actual problem is and why we're using ND filters in the first place. When you fly on a sunny day, there is just so much light that the drone camera has to protect the image. So what does it do? Well, it cranks up the shutter speed up like crazy. You'll see numbers like 1 over 800, 1 over 1600, 1 over 2000. Now that sounds good, right? But you get an overly sharp image. And for video, you actually get the opposite of a cinematic shot, because cinematic footage isn't just sharp. It has motion blur, especially when you're flying close to the ground or the water. And this little bit of blur is what makes movement look smooth and natural, like a movie. When the shutter speed is insanely fast, you get zero blur and everything looks stuttery when the camera moves. So the goal here is simple. We want to keep the shutter speed at a cinematic value. And that leads to the most overused phrase in drone video, but I promise I'll explain it in normal human language. The 180-degree shutter rule. And here's the easiest way to understand it. Your shutter speed should be roughly double your frame rate. That's it. So today we're filming at 4K 25 frames per second, and that means your shutter speed should be 1 over 50. If you're filming in 30 frames per second, that would be 1 over 60, and so on. And that shutter range is what gives you natural motion blur. But this is where the problem is. On a sunny day, if you try to force 1 over 50 without an ND filter, the footage will get totally blown out. It'll be a bright white mess. And because on beginner drones you can't adjust the exposure manually, this is why you need ND filters. This is why they even exist at all for these types of drones. And an ND filter is basically sunglasses for your drone camera. So it basically reduces the light coming into the lens so you can keep a slower, more cinematic shutter speed without overexposing the image. Now this one is a variable ND filter, which means instead of swapping multiple different ND filters, you can dial it up between 1 to 5. It's almost like dialing it like a dimmer switch. So if it was mildly overcast, you might have it on 1 or 2. If it's really bright like today, we're going to put it on number 5 because we want it to be as dark as possible. And now we've done that, you can see that I've got the correct shutter speed based on my frame rate, which is 4K 25 frames per second. The first flight we're going to do is with no ND filter. Now pay attention to the settings here. You can see the shutter speed is way up. It's because it's basically panicking because there's just too much sun. And you can look at the water highlights here and you can see that the sparkle turns into this harsh, flickery look. And as the camera moves, it's got that slightly stuttery motion. As you can see closer to the camera, it is nowhere near smooth. There's no motion blur close to the camera. Now we're going to do the exact same flight, but we're going to force the camera into cinematic behavior. So I'm putting the variable ND filter on. And now a quick tip before I launch again. I always lock a few things so the footage doesn't shift mid-shot. I lock my white balance, which I'll manually set here so that it doesn't change color mid-flight. And I try to keep the ISO low because that keeps the image clean. So we're going to set it to 100 here, and that will be the lowest it possibly goes. As you can see, I'm aiming for that shutter target, which is around 1/50th because I'm shooting at 25 frames per second. The ND filter is now on and dialed in at number 5, which is the darkest it goes. And let's do the same move with the same speed, same line over the water. Now we know the shutter speed is much less. It's not really high like it was before. we're sitting in that cinematic range. And this is the part where people go, oh, geez, it looks nicer, but they don't really know why. And it's because there is motion blur. The movement feels smoother, the water sparkle feels more controlled, and it just feels like more like something you'd see in a travel film. So if you take nothing else from this video, on bright sunny days, the ND filter is what allows your Atom 2 to actually behave like a cinema camera. And if you've ever been out flying and you thought, wait, should I be at 25 frames per second or 30 frames per second? What shutter speed should I use? What move do I do over water? I made something for you that will take this problem away for you. I've created the Drone Camera Coach, and it's an AI bot that answers any drone related questions, camera settings and flying techniques, so you can fix problems on the spot and get the shot while you're there. If you want that in your pocket, the link is below. And don't worry, it's free. All right, we're not done yet, because there was one other thing we were talking about at the start of the video, and that is, why does your water shots look so reflective? If you've ever filmed over water and thought, why does it look like a shiny sheet of aluminium foil or aluminum foil? That is caused by reflections and glare from the sun. And in a second, I'm going to show you a filter that fixes that. But first, there's one thing you need to know, because the trick depends on the angle of the sun. So reflections are all about direction. So if you're lined up with the sun in the wrong way, the effect can look weaker when you're trying this filter out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to point the drone where the water glare is most obvious. We want a worst case kind of shot, because if it can fix it here, it can fix it anywhere. Okay, this is Potensic's new CPL filter, which stands for Circular Polarizer Lens. And this fits on just like the ND filter, and you can turn it this way and that way to get a different look as well. And if you want a less colorful look, you can roll it the other way. It just depends on your reflections. A CPL doesn't change motion like an ND filter does though. It changes reflections and color. And over water, it can reduce glare, and quite often it can let you see more into the water, which means you can see things under the surface that you couldn't see before. Okay, this is the first pass with no CPL filter on. I want you to look at the water surface. It's like a mirror, it's bright, the sun is reflecting a lot across the surface. And now let's do the same with the CPL on. And here's the difference. The glare drops down significantly. The surface gets texture. You can now see into the shore here and see more detail in the rocks that are under the surface. And it also enhances the color as well. Now this shot has had no color correction. It's all done in camera. If you want to push this footage from good to proper cinematic, here are 3 things I focus on when I'm filming over a dam like this. Number 1, don't hover and spin, because hovering and spinning just looks like really crappy security footage, because hovering and spinning just looks like really crappy security footage. And number 2, give the shot a subject. Pick one thing, the dam wall, the shoreline curve, a tree line, a boat, anything. Cinematic footage usually has a clear main character. And number 3, keep your moves slow. Most people fly too fast because it feels fun, but cinematic usually looks like the drone is on a dolly track, not on a jet ski. And when you combine slow movement with the ND filter giving you that cinematic shutter and the CPL cleaning up reflections, that's when your Atom 2 footage starts looking way above its price range. If you want the next step, the actual flying moves that make any drone shots look cinematic, I've got a full video on that right here. Thanks for watching.